Yesterday, the story for Sea of Thieves finally got going again. After what has been literal months of nothing happening in-game, finally the next adventure was released. On top of that, on the 11th of June, Xbox held their games showcase, and a lot of people in the Sea of Thieves community were expecting a big reveal from Rare. Many, myself included, were expecting a Pirate's Life 2 or something similar to be announced. What we were given was a trailer for a much anticipated crossover with another Disney game. In collaboration with Lucasfilm Games, Rare have revealed The Legend of Monkey Island. Coming to the game for free on the 20th of July, 3 brand new tall tales will be released at a cadence of 1 per month, taking players on a brand new adventure. Now I'll be honest, I haven't been playing Sea of Thieves very much at all. With no real story content or anything new being brought to the game for several months, I simply didn't have any real reason to play. Is this new update enough to bring me back? To answer that, I think we need to talk about why Season 9 was the time I stopped playing a game I've played almost religiously since launch. Hello pirates, my name is Ellie and I post regular Sea of Thieves videos on this channel. If you want to stay up to date with the game, then remember to subscribe and hit the bell to be notified when I put up a new video. So up until yesterday, it had actually been around a month and a half since I had last played Sea of Thieves. I just haven't really been interested in it lately, and this is probably the first time in all the time I've played the game that I genuinely lost my interest in playing. It doesn't help that when I decided to play some of the mystery a few weeks ago, I was faced with a few bugs, which meant I couldn't even progress through the voyages at that time. I've since managed to complete the mystery, and I'm going to do another video on my thoughts on that whole thing next week. The point is, when you're already not playing a game because you've lost interest, and then you decide to try out the new thing and it doesn't work, yeah, that's not great. I'm not burnt out, and I'm not mad at one particular thing. It was just a long build-up of issues which affected my enjoyment of the game. Combine that with other live service games taking up my limited game time, planning my wedding and kids' birthday parties, life has been keeping me pretty busy. But I've been busy before, and I've always found time to play Sea of Thieves, so this time it was something more. When people asked why I wasn't playing the game, the first thing that came to mind was that there was nothing new to do. No new world events or activities. I've been calling for a new world event for years now. Not since the Fort of Fortune have we had a new event on the horizon that's piqued our curiosity. Server instability was also plaguing our crew quite regularly in early Season 9. I've also heard from my PvP-focused friends and members of my Discord that cheating has become rife in the Hourglass battles again. It's also been said that if you don't find cheaters, then you're lucky to even find a match because the player base has dropped off so much. Now I can't speak to that myself because I haven't been playing, but it's not exactly what you want to hear. The past few months in Sea of Thieves have been the biggest content drought I think the game has ever experienced. I find it very hard to believe that this was intentional. Something must have gone wrong somewhere in development, whether it was for the Monkey Island update or the adventures or something we don't even know about yet. We'll probably never know. Either way, there is no way that Rare planned this massive gap between content. Back in the early years of this game, before seasons, Rare used to regularly put on events like fortnights, and in 2020 there seemed to be new events or reasons to play almost every weekend. Shark Hunt, Hunter's Hall, Tall Tales Retold, Ashen Expeditions. If they knew or had planned in advance a big gap between major story content and updates, I really believe they would have planned some events to keep everyone entertained. This didn't happen, and this is one of the reasons I believe the drought was an unintentional development issue. Rare are pretty heavily leaning into this idea of being a live service game. The problem I have is that I play another live service game called Destiny. Now, I could write a book on the problems Destiny and Destiny 2 have had over the years, but one thing they don't have these days is content droughts. They have regular updates, loads of activities, and new things to do pretty much every week, and big updates every few months. Regularly double loot or XP weeks in various different areas of the game, new story content every week, new dungeons, new raids. There's just always something new either happening that week or not far away. And while in the past Destiny has suffered from its own content droughts, this happened for them before they adopted the seasonal model, not after. With Rare, ever since they switched to a seasonal model for Sea of Thieves, content has been coming at a slower cadence than before they had seasons, and that's not what we were sold. In my opinion, to warrant the live service game tag, a game needs to keep you playing every week. New content needs to be a regular thing, new story, new activities, new areas, new cosmetics, new weapons, new tools. It was back in April that I posted my last video talking about what on earth had happened to the story in Sea of Thieves, and nothing has actually changed since then. Except for the new adventure, which I played through yesterday, literally nothing has changed in the game. Before the return of Adventures, during the reveal for Monkey Island, Mike Chapman said on Twitter that Adventures would be returning with some changes. Now, as far as I could tell yesterday, the adventure we got was in the same style as before they were put on hold. They're still time limited and still the usual sail here, sail there and do the thing and then do this thing. I can only assume that Mike is referring to future adventures and story when he said that things will be slightly different. One of the things that was revealed with the Monkey Island update is that they are staggering the tall tales one per month. Now I know not everyone is keen on time-gated content, but it does have to be said that this kind of storytelling is commonplace in live service gaming. Logging back in each week to catch up with the story and find out what's going to happen next is part of what keeps people playing live online games. Usually the game world will be ever-changing, whether that's through storytelling or events or the world itself changing. A weekly reset or update of sorts is also quite commonplace in games where there's an ever-evolving world. Unfortunately for Sea of Thieves, it feels like the only updates that come regularly these days are chunky Pirate Emporium updates with real-world money cosmetics to buy. I don't have a problem with microtransactions, I never really have done, and actually Sea of Thieves do this incredibly well in my opinion. But when it's the only updates coming to the game, that is a problem. For a live service games world to be so stagnant for so long just doesn't work, and because of that, it did lose my interest as of late. I love that Sea of Thieves want to be a live service game, and I think it could be an incredible one, but for me right now, it's not quite hitting the mark. The Monkey Island update could change all that. I have some extremely fond memories of playing Monkey Island games with my sister when we were younger. We only had one PC in the house and it was in my dad's room, and we would spend most of the weekends in there trying to figure out the puzzles, and to this day it's one of my best childhood memories. I am very much looking forward to reliving those moments and memories in the Sea of Thieves, and it's something that I know I'm going to enjoy. It's just a real shame that it's tainted by the fact that I'm already thinking about what happens after these three tall tales. What is Rare's content model for this game? What happened to roadmaps and regular content updates? When is the main storyline going to continue in any meaningful way? From what we can see in the trailer for The Legend of Monkey Island, Rare and Lucasfilms have worked hard to recreate the humour that Monkey Island did so well. And let's be honest, Sea of Thieves and Monkey Island are a match made in heaven as far as crossovers go. But it's important to mention that a massive part of the player base won't have the fond memories of Monkey Island like I do. I would guess that over 90% of the player population won't have ever played a Monkey Island game. It's not going to hit like the Pirate's Life update did. It's not Pirates of the Caribbean. It's not Captain Jack Sparrow. It's sad to say, but I don't think this update will have anywhere close to the impact that Pirate's Life did, and of course it is going to be compared to it. Speaking of the Pirate's Life Tall Tales, the first of those Tall Tales was actually what brought Monkey Island to the Sea of Thieves for the first time. The secret area in the first Tall Tale is home to the Headless Monkey ship, a ship from Monkey Island. And some lore books in-game actually add details from the Monkey Island franchise into Sea of Thieves as canon. That means that the story implications for Sea of Thieves lore with this crossover are far greater than they were with Pirate's Life. The likelihood of the Sea of Thieves story continuing in a meaningful way alongside the Monkey Island update is much higher than it was with Pirate's Life, where the Sea of Thieves story essentially got put on hold, and that does give me some hope. Mike Chapman has also confirmed on Twitter that there is a link between the Monkey Island adventure we're going on and the continuing Sea of Thieves story. Just like the Pirate's Life updates, the Monkey Island update will also likely introduce new tools or enemy types of some kind. For example, tridents and ocean crawlers were added with Pirate's Life. I would hope that the same will be true for Monkey Island, but we'll have to wait and see. Is it enough? As well as the Monkey Island Tall Tales, adventures have finally returned to the game. Perhaps the continuation of the main storyline with a lead-in to the Tall Tales will entice me and other players back to the game. I very much enjoyed my time on the seas yesterday while playing the new adventure, and I still love this game. But perhaps I didn't realise until now how important the storytelling on the Sea of Thieves is to me as a player. I cannot help but feel like content will need to be a regular thing going forward. A reason to log in every week, or at least every month, needs to be something a live service game focuses on. Hopefully with the release of this adventure, the future tall tales for The Legend of Monkey Island, in addition to the continuing seasonal updates, it will be enough to keep me and others playing. It's just such a shame that the reveal of Monkey Island, one of my favourite games of all time, was tinged with the disappointment I've been feeling with the game's live service elements lately. What do you think? Have you been missing the story content for Sea of Thieves? Do you think things could change going forward? Let me know down in the comments. Thanks for watching, and if you did like the video then please do leave a like and subscribe for more Sea of Thieves content. Thanks again for watching, and I'll see you on the seas!